Welcome, colleagues. Today, I would like to discuss a topic that has generated many questions from healthcare professionals across our educational programs. Why do we ask participants to complete post-tests or multiple-choice questions before downloading their continuing medical education certificates? Some participants view the process as an inconvenience. Others ask why a post-test is necessary when they attended the entire webinar. Some wonder why they must complete an assessment when the certificate is free, and others ask the same question when there is a fee attached to the certificate. These are fair questions, and today I would like to explain the reasoning behind this important requirement. First, let us recognize that continuing medical education is not simply about attendance. It is about learning. The purpose of CME is to improve knowledge, strengthen clinical decision-making, reinforce best practices, and ultimately improve patient care. A certificate should not merely confirm that someone logged into a webinar. A certificate should provide reasonable evidence that learning occurred. This distinction is important. For many years, educational programs around the world focused primarily on attendance. If you were present, you received a certificate. However, educational science has evolved. Research consistently demonstrates that active participation and assessment improve knowledge retention far more effectively than passive listening alone. In simple terms, we remember more when we are required to think about what we have learned. This is one of the reasons why post-tests have become standard practice in many educational systems worldwide. When participants answer questions, they revisit key concepts, reflect on important messages, and reinforce learning. The assessment itself becomes part of the educational process. The second reason relates to professional credibility. As healthcare professionals, we operate in a highly regulated environment. Our patients trust us. Regulatory bodies trust us. Society trusts us. That trust depends upon maintaining professional standards. When a regulatory authority requires an assessment component, particularly for virtual education, it is doing so to ensure the integrity of the educational process. Virtual learning provides tremendous flexibility and accessibility. However, it also creates challenges. Unlike a traditional classroom, organizers cannot always verify how much of a presentation was actively viewed or understood. A brief post-test provides one mechanism for demonstrating engagement with the educational content. It strengthens the credibility of the certificate and the program itself. Third, the post-test protects the value of your CME certificate. Imagine two certificates. One certificate is issued simply because someone registered. The second certificate is issued after attendance, review of educational content, and successful completion of a brief assessment. Which certificate carries greater educational value? Most of us would agree that the second certificate represents a stronger educational experience. The assessment elevates the certificate from proof of attendance to evidence of participation and learning. Another important point is that these post-tests are not intended to be punitive. They are not examinations in the traditional sense. They are not designed to make participants fail. In fact, many platforms allow multiple attempts, and participants can review the content before trying again. The purpose is educational reinforcement, not exclusion. From a psychological perspective, we often overestimate the burden of small tasks. When we hear the words test or assessment, many of us unconsciously recall stressful academic experiences. We may imagine lengthy examinations or difficult questions. In reality, most CME post-tests require only a few minutes to complete. Many can be finished in less time than it takes to check social media or read a few emails. The perception of difficulty is often greater than the actual effort required. There is also another important benefit. The post-test provides feedback to educational organizers. If large numbers of participants answer a particular question incorrectly, it may indicate that the concept was not communicated clearly. This helps improve future educational programs. In this way, assessments improve not only individual learning, but also the quality of the educational system itself. Now let us address the question of certificate fees. Whether a certificate is free or requires payment has no bearing on the educational requirement. The assessment requirement exists because of educational standards and regulatory expectations, not because of financial considerations. A free certificate still requires evidence of learning. A paid certificate still requires evidence of learning. The principle remains exactly the same. The goal is to maintain educational integrity. As healthcare professionals, we routinely encourage our patients to adopt behaviors that improve long-term outcomes. We ask them to exercise. We ask them to attend follow-up appointments. We ask them to complete treatment plans. Often these actions require small investments of time and effort. We do so because we know the long-term benefits outweigh the short-term inconvenience. The same principle applies here. A few minutes spent completing a post-test contributes to a stronger learning experience and a more credible professional development process. Ultimately, the post-test is not a barrier. It is part of the educational journey. It protects the integrity of the program. It protects the value of your certificate. It reinforces learning. It supports regulatory compliance. And most importantly, it contributes to the ongoing development of competent, knowledgeable, and reflective healthcare professionals. As we continue to embrace digital learning, we encourage all participants to view assessments not as obstacles, but as opportunities. Opportunities to reinforce knowledge, opportunities to demonstrate learning, and opportunities to uphold the professional standards that define our healthcare community. Thank you for your commitment to lifelong learning, and thank you for supporting excellence in continuing medical education.